and Merry Christmas week to you all. We're all very excited that we're going to get the first video release from Tom MacDonald's latest two albums coming up Friday. Don't know which song it's going to be yet. Hopefully it's going to be one of the political ones so I can get my teeth into it. But in the meantime, we continue to lose some of the founding members of the rock and roll era. The gentleman on your screen, Dino Danelli, passed away a few days ago. He was a drummer for the Young Rascals. The Young Rascals were a huge mega hit group that in the mid-60s, they were formed in 1965 in New Jersey, mainly a group of Italian young men. And they burst on the scene with their first number one hit, Good Lovin'. Followed that up with a very nice slower song, Groovin', in 67. And then in 1968, they had their greatest hit of all time, the song People Gotta Be Free. That song was number one for 5 weeks in the summer of 1968. If you don't know, everything that happened in 1968 is probably the most eventful year of my life, maybe up to the year 2020, which certainly was eventful in a bad way. A lot of bad things happened in 1968 as well. I was a senior in high school, getting ready to graduate. I'll never forget waking up one morning and finding out that Martin Luther King had been assassinated. I think that was in April. And then shortly after we graduated in June, Robert Kennedy was assassinated. And of course, it was a very difficult time for this country. Johnson had escalated the Vietnam War. The Vietnam protests were going very strong. There was riots in Chicago at the Democratic Convention. It was a very uncertain time in this country, a lot going on. But this one song, I think, in many ways epitomized the feelings of maybe the younger generation at that time. People gotta be free. And also, it's a song about why can't we all get along in peace. So I thought in this holiday season and in honor of the passing of the drummer Dino, we should take a look. All the world over so easy to see. People everywhere just wanna be free. Listen, please, listen, that's the way it should be. Peace in the valley, people got to be free. You should see what a lovely, lovely world is to be. Everyone learn to live together. Seems to me such an easy thing should be. Why can't you and me learn to love one another? Now all the world over so easy to see. People everywhere just wanna be free. I can't understand, it's so simple to me. It is. People everywhere just got to be free. Of course, you don't see those horns on the stage because this is actually a lip sync. In other words, they may have been performing the song, but that's not the track you're hearing. You're hearing the studio track with all the extras, wall of sound added in with the horns and everything else, and the harmony is beautiful. That's Felix Cavalieri there on the organ, kind of the leader of the group, in that he wrote a lot of the songs and sang a lot of the songs. But an extremely talented group of young men that really burst upon the scene with the song about why can't we all learn to love one another. People everywhere just got to be free. If there's a man who is down and needs a helping hand, all it takes is you to understand and to pull him through.
the battlefield will have to be. They got to be. Ask me my opinion. My opinion will be. That's a situation for a man to be free. Get right on board now. Yeah, all the feels just come over me. Enough to move a mountain and a blind man. Everybody say, come on, let's go see. He's in the valley, now we're talking being free.
Really brings you back. I think this was actually recorded in 1968, and look at all those young people in the audience, and now you realize that those young people, like me, who just turned 72 a couple days ago, are now all in their 70s, and the performers from that era are either in their late 70s or already into their 80s if they haven't already died. So that era is gone. Not lost, because we have the record, but it's not coming back, although the philosophy espoused in this song is timeless. You know, treat people the way you want to be treated. Do unto others as you would do unto yourself.
It's about to rise any minute now. You know, it's been long, long overdue. Look out, cause it's coming right on through.
And there you have it. The biggest hit of the Young Rascals' career. They later dropped the Young. They never wanted the Young in the first place, but it was forced on them by the record company. This song, coming at the time it did, in the middle of the civil rights movement as well, people got to be free. It was clearly about that. And the Rascals actually always insisted that they have at least one black musical group in their, warming up for them in their concert tours. And in some cases, if they didn't have a black, or they couldn't have a black group with them, they canceled the concert. So they believed in equality and helping people be free. And of course, with the backdrop of that horrible year and the assassinations of two great leaders and the Vietnam War raging in the background, I think people knew what the song was about. It was about getting free from a war machine that was out of control and apparently still around. So we haven't quite achieved freedom yet, but we're still fighting for it in our different ways.